Good afternoon, Year 5s. This is a bit of a weird one because I already have the lesson done for you. I was actually editing it this morning and I found that the audio did not work on the video. So I'm going to go through the lesson that I went through yesterday with you because I've already written all the calculations down. I've already checked if they're all right. So, there's no point in me actually writing it all again. I can just talk through everything. So I'm going to go into the actual video that I did. And there's a little bit of me talking still. It's when I do... There you go. Okay, so today's lesson is multiplying by decimal numbers. Multiply by decimal numbers. The concept is very, very similar in terms of how you calculate it to when you're multiplying but just by complete whole numbers. The only difference is that there is a slight change or something that you need to make sure you understand before you complete the calculation. When you complete a calculation using multiplying decimals, you need to understand how many decimal places are in the question. Now, there could be decimal places in both numbers, there could be decimal places in one number. You need to add up all the decimal places that are consistent in the number. So, my mouse is not... Oh, there it is. So, if you're looking at this number over here, 4.6. By the way, these are the questions you're actually going to be doing in the lesson. This question you have 4.6 times 7. There's no decimal places in 7, so we're going to have a look and see. So from the decimal point to how many numbers that are less than a whole number is how many decimal places there are. Okay, so as you can see, if I go jump 1, there is 1 decimal place. Now what I suggest you do is prior to you starting, you actually write down how many decimal places there are. And the reason why you do that is because when you write down how many decimal places there are, you can leave any part of the decimal calculation. Oh, there you go. You see, I'm just saying it's 1 decimal place. You can leave the part of the decimal calculation right to the end and just do it like normal. You can do it 46 times 7. Now, 46 times 7 is a pretty straightforward calculation to complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 46 times 7. And then what I'm going to do is afterwards, I'm going to show you how you reinstall that first decimal place at the end. So I'm calculating 6 times 7 is 42, 7 times 4 is 28, plus 4 is 32. I get 332. 332 cannot be the number. If I did 4.6, it's 4 and a bit. So if I took away the 0.6, and just said 4 times 7, it would be 28, right? So it should be closer to 28 than 280, surely. So it's going to be around, it should be around in the tens. So what I'm teaching here is, because it's 1 decimal place, I'm going to move my decimal point 1 decimal place and move it to 1 decimal place, and that's 32. So 32.2 is perfect because I estimated that 4 times 7 is around 28. 32 is quite close to 28, and I know I've got the right answer. This question over here, I've just skipped a couple. You've got 20.91. There's only a decimal in one number. I'm going to find out how many decimal places. As you can see, I've jumped 2 numbers past the decimal place, which means there are 2 decimal places. Write 2dp on the right-hand corner. Write 2dp on the right-hand corner. And then just do it as normal. Then just do 2091 multiplied by 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times 9 is 72. That's a terrible 2. I think I'm going to get rid of that 2. How did I know? 9 times 8 is 72, so 70 goes in the top. 8 times 0 is nothing, okay? You have 8 of nothing, but you have to add that 7 as well, so you add that 7. And then you've got 2 times 8, which is 16. Again, when you estimate, take away the decimal numbers, 20 times 8. 20 times 8, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 120, 140, 160. So it's going to be around 160. So it can't be 16,000. So that's the first thing, do the estimate. Then you move your decimal place 2 numbers over. So 1, 2, and it becomes 167. I estimated it to be 160. So that's fantastic. I'm going to skip through me using the calculator because I know all of them are right. Okay, so again, I think I skip, and I don't, I go straight to 5. Because in this calculation, which is not what we've done as of yet, there are decimals in both numbers. Does that change anything? Not at all. It doesn't change the number at all. So here I've got 3.9 times 5.6. It doesn't matter which way I put it around, I put it 5.6 at the top. You calculate how many decimal points are in both numbers. So the decimal point, there's one decimal point in 5.6, and there's one decimal point in 3.9. So that's 1. And then there's 2. So there's 2 decimal points in this number. Even though there's only 1 in each, cumulatively, there are 2. Write 2 decimal places in the top corner, or next to the question. And then just do 56 times 39. You do 56 times 39, you'll be absolutely fine, because you'll add the 2 decimal places right at the end. When you multiply by 2-digit numbers, you multiply by 9, you multiply by 30. 6 times 9 is 54. 54. 9 times 5 is 45 plus 5 is 50. Okay? I'm going to multiply by 30. I don't want to multiply by 30. I want to multiply by 3. How do I do that? Let's multiply by 10 first. So I crossed out the 0 and put it there. If I put that 0 there, I move all the other place values up 1. Now I've got 3 times 6 is 18. I got rid of that 5. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. I now add them together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 0 is 8. 5 plus 6 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? Again, estimate. 5 times 3 is 15. So it's going to be around about in the tens. 2 decimal places. Move the number over 2 decimal places. Past 4, past 8 from the right hand side. Okay, I think I moved down ever so slightly more. So this one we're going to do 12.9 times 3.7. This one's not going to be too different. Again, how many decimal places are in these two numbers? Altogether, there are going to be 2. Do your estimate. Get rid of the decimals. 12 times 3, 12, 24, 36. It's going to be around 36. It's going to be much more than it's going to be a bit more than 36, but it's going to be around there. 2 decimal places I'm going to add on at the end. I'm multiplying by 7 and I'm multiplying by 30 because now it's 129 times 37. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 6 is 20. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. You've got 903. Multiply by 30. No, I want to multiply by 3. So let's multiply by 10 first. Boom, put the 0 there. And then I go 3 times 9 is 27. Get rid of that 6 because we don't want it anymore. Put the 2 there. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. And then get rid of that 2, please. Yeah, good. 3 times 1 is 3. Add them all together. 3, 7, 17. Put the 1 there and a 4. 4,000 is not going to be the answer. 12 times 3 is 36. It's not going to be 4,000. So I need to put the 2 decimal places there. At the top corner, I said 2 decimal places. I need to move it from the right 2 decimal places over. And that's when I'm going to get the correct answer. I'm just showing, actually, this is the part where I'm actually showing how to estimate. When you estimate, you don't have to use all the numbers. You just have to use some of the numbers to prove that the answer is going to be around about there. Obviously, with the decimals, the number is going to be larger than 36 because I've got to add 0.9 3 times. But it's just when you take away the decimals and you add and you estimate, you kind of get a feel of where the answer is going to be around. So I've got 47.73. I estimate around 36. That's close enough for me to say that that is actually correct. Okay. This one here, 14.56 multiplied by 2.8. Okay, very good. Now, it's very slightly different because we've got a different amount or different number of decimal place values. So let's have a look. 0.56, there's 2 decimal places there, and 2.8, there's 1 decimal. 2 decimal places plus 1 decimal place, 3 decimal places. So that's how simple it is. You just find out how many decimal places there are. Look, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So 3 decimal places. And then you do 1456 times 28, which is a difficult long multiplication, but I say in this video that you should be able to do it based off of yesterday's lesson where we did long multiplication. 28 is 8 and 20. I've just multiplied by 10 straight away. I've just put the 0 there because I know if I put the 0 there, all the numbers are going to be increased by 1 place value. All right, then I get going. 6 times 8, because I'm going to multiply by 8, is 48. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4 is 44. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 4 is 36. And then 8 times, got to put the 3 there. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, and now I'm going to multiply by 2. I've already multiplied by 10, so I don't need to multiply by 20. Just multiply by 2. 2 times 6. Can you see how I got rid of, that was important, I got rid of all of the numbers that were leftover amounts, because it could get me confused. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And then 2 times 1 is 2. I add them all up together. This is the easy bit. 8 plus 0 is 8. I think that's what I'm saying. Add them all up. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 9 is 10. And then you've got 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Again, estimate. Get rid of the decimal amounts. 14 times 2 is 28. It's not going to be 40,000. So I need to get rid of 3 decimal. I need to move 3 decimal places from the right hand side to the left. As you can see, I've written 28 down. It's going to be in the tens. It's going to be a little bit more than 28, obviously, because I've got 0.8 and I've got 0.56 to go. So it's going to be more, but it's a roundabout, isn't it? It's not going to be... There you go. I'm jumping the 3 decimal places. And there you go, 40.768, which is quite significantly bigger than 28, but it's close enough for me to go, do you know what? It's in the right place. It's for when you, like, let's say you only do 2 decimal places and you get 407. And then you look at 407, you look at 28, you go, that's not actually quite correct. That's way too large. And that's as far as I went. I left a couple out because obviously I want you to do them by yourself and try and challenge yourself to see if you can get them right. The answers obviously be up tomorrow. If you're stuck with them, obviously, because I've gone through this quite quickly, because the reason why I go through them quite quickly is that you are able then to, if you're struggling, you can go back and keep re-watching it. Whereas if you're really kind of getting what I'm saying, you can then just give it a go. So don't be afraid to go back and re-watch what I'm saying so that you get that support and help as well. Really, and send myself, Miss Mitchell and Miss Butler your work. I'm sure we'll really appreciate it. I hope you're really all doing well. We miss you all. Keep happy, keep smiling, keep working hard.